Don't do drugs, kids.
It did that last time. It just loaded. Just start. You want to start? Welcome back to this week's podcast, baby. Woo 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 woo. It's week 2, second episode. First one. We don't know how it went. This one is also pre-recorded as the last one. This week's been good. Crypto has been really bad this week though.
Hey, it's not too terrible. This is like
we've seen this before, but this big spike went down. Like a lot of people lost a lot of money within 20 seconds. Now, I'm not going to confirm that again because apparently we didn't look up into the exact time, but it was quick. It was a sudden spike down. You know how every other crypto follows Bitcoin, like everything else is down, which is a good time for investing. So please put your money in now.
Buy the dips.
Well, I mean, yeah, buy dips. I think
MicroStrategy just bought another shit ton of Bitcoin recently.
Yeah, by the time this comes out, yeah, I buy her. I hope like the dip went up, and like maybe you already bought it, and you don't need our advice. You know, it's the holidays right now. That's why we're wearing the Santa hat.
Yeah, he bought another $82 million.
Who did?
Michael Saylor, MicroStrategy.
You want to tell him who Michael Saylor is?
Michael Saylor.
Yeah, Michael Saylor's the guy.
He had a software company. He noticed that if you just have a bunch of cash, investors don't want to give you money. They like when you have assets. So he just bought a shit ton of Bitcoin. And every time Bitcoin's low, he just buys a shit ton more Bitcoin. Has more Bitcoin than Tesla has. And he's just buying it every time it's low. Just as everyone else should be doing.
Yeah. I mean, everyone knows that like dips are good. Even if it's bad overall, like there is going to be a come up. And, you know, as we see from crypto's history, like, it only goes up from here, you know?
It just always goes up. And there's more interest as time goes on. MicroStrategy's up. Not too much, but it's probably because their timing of buying right now. They're up 1.6x, so they're not up too crazy.
This is all as of December 10th, 2021, right?
Yeah, so at the current prices, they're not like doubling, tripling their money. But
make sure to check. We'll check when this episode comes out, and we'll probably put in the bio what's going on with the prices. Other than that, you know, last week we talked about, you know, blockchain.
Went over a little bit of everything.
Yeah, this week I think we need to talk about like more of our personal projects and like tell you why, like what we do. Like I feel like we're just like two good looking people just talking about crypto, but like, you know, there's a lot of good looking people that talk about crypto. And I think what makes us different is that, you know, me and Court, we run two different what's the term? Gaming teams. We run I
don't even know what to call them.
The new youth. The youth is calling it the play to earn gaming.
Play to earn gaming,
which is now crypto gaming, which we've seen a lot. Like the metaverse with Facebook is now going to Decentraland. Decentraland is like a Google Earth video game. Technically, would you not say?
It's just a virtual world.
Yeah. Like,
virtual world, virtual property,
with its own economics. Like it has like casinos. You can gamble. I mean, that's what happens in casinos. But you can also there's a lot of new projects coming with Decentraland and all that.
I think Tesla has land there.
A lot of companies have bought land there. I think
just depends whatever they're doing with it.
Snoop Dogg actually built himself a statue in Decentraland. That's new. But yeah, like Courtney and me, we're trying to go into the international virtual arms business. Maybe you'll see us out there. We're still working out logistics, but you know, it sounds rough on theory. You know, like we're not going to say much because like we don't want to incriminate ourselves. But just know it is all going to be legit, and so maybe you'll be buying our NFTs like someday. You have an NFT, right?
Multiple NFTs.
Yeah, right. Like NFTs are becoming like the, you know, people think you can just copy and paste them and like, you know, you own the fucking NFT. It's not like that no more because like your NFTs are like actual game pieces.
Even before they're not like that. Everything's in the blockchain. You copy and paste the picture. You don't have the token associated with the NFT. You can't sell it. You don't have any rights to it.
Yeah, anything. It's just a picture at that point.
Exactly. It's just a picture.
What are you gonna
do?
Like
You take a picture of the Mona Lisa. You don't have the Mona Lisa. You can't sell it. You can't do anything with it. You just have a picture of it.
Yeah, so that the Declaration of Independence actually went up for.
It was Constitution.
Constitution, yeah, my fault.
One of the last physical remaining copies of the Constitution was up for auction recently at I think it was Sotheby's auction. There's a cryptocurrency DAO that was formed in order to raise money to try to acquire the Constitution, which would give them rights to like place it wherever they want, essentially, because there's like really specific rules with buying a piece of the Constitution. They only allow you to like select where it gets placed, like physically. You don't really get to like have it in your own personal residence or anything like that. But they got outbid by some random billionaire by like I think $2 million or $3 million. I think the crypto people raised $41 million,
That's
and
crazy.
then he raised $43 million. Gas fees is apparently what fucked them over.
Really?
Yeah, if they formed the DAO on Polygon and everyone who like put money towards it didn't need to pay the fees, that probably would have made up the extra $2 or $3 million that would have been needed to beat out the millionaire. Well, who knows? He could have had more money under wraps ready to throw on top after. Who knows?
Listen, in this crypto world, there's always people who have more money than you. There's always people who bought earlier than you. And you just got to enjoy where you are on the ride, you know? But getting back to the NFT thing, you own a couple. I own one. I actually am getting my second one, my next NFT this week. Zedrun is a really popular game. You know, I used to like, you know, I like to gamble. You know, I'm a gambling man. Big horse guy. Love to gamble on the horses. I can give you good odds. Other than that, but like, you know, I decided to take my skills to like the virtual world, you know, like see if I can actually make some real profit. And I found that, you know, like as much as like unpredictable horse racing is, you could still run a good business by horse breeding. And, you know, this one is less cruel, like unlike the, you know, the humane stuff that's going on and like PETA always coming at people for random stuff like that. But, you know, for me, like I bought a horse called Velvet Punch. You can look him up on the database of knowyourhorses.com.
Knowyourhorses.com.
You can also look at hawk.io and you can look for like the parental, like where like his parents. Like, you can look at all this stuff. We'll put the link somewhere in the description. If you're listening on Spotify, check us up on YouTube too. Get us an extra view, you know. But anyway, yeah, I'm looking for a new competitor a new breeder, because my Velvet Punch is, you know, I bought it at like, you know, I think it was like 150 in USD. I don't know how much that is in Ethereum at the time. But this new one, like I want to spend a little bit more and, you know, create like a good breed so I can sell it for like more than double the price than like I bought for the two horses. I don't know what I don't like so far. Like when it comes to like buying horses in this game, you really want to know, like you're not judging anything by name. You're looking at stats, and a lot of it's like looking at stats and like the parents and stuff like that. And, you know, the color of it and the different, there's so many, like, there's different breeds, like, there's numbers, there's a number system to it. And the way this is all, like, legitimate is that, there's only a limited amount of horses that are produced right now. So that's what, like, gives everybody, like, you know, like, there's, like, certain amount of horses out, and you can only breed a certain amount. Like,
there can only be made more by breeding, so, like, it's kind of, like, scarce by default. Like,
yeah. That's what gives it, like, you know, like the high prices. Like a lot of, like, there's some horses out there right now that are worth like $2,000. Like, and you know, people be making a lot of money off them, and they run them in like high end races, like $100 bet races, and you win like $1,000. It's crazy. For me, like I start, you know, I'm trying to get like to see my horses statistics, so I try to run the new, you know, a couple free races here and there, and we never ended up in first. If we look at the stats, a lot of it like I've been hitting second, third, seventh, eighth, like just consistent on those two tracks. And I think like now that like when I bought the horse, there was only like 3 races with it.
I entered it in one race, won the race, didn't want to race again.
I feel like what it is that makes us like all different horses. Is that the number system runs from like 1 to 1,000? Like
it just increases.
Yeah,
like,
and the number value is like how good of the, like, you know, how fast of a horse. It plays into the genetics of each horse. Like Courtney runs a number 9, a Z9 horse. I run a Z12 horse. So like by little statistics, like the Z9 is going to do a little bit better than the Z12, but it's not always the case because horse racing, again, still very unpredictable. And like, you know, some people are good at it, some people are not. And
some of these are selling for a lot.
Yeah. What do you see on the marketplace? Also, what keeping up like this game is like sponsored by NASCAR. Like, you know?
Yep.
It's crazy.
NASCAR. A lot of these games are really getting like
these new
intertwined with
they're getting
companies.
Yeah. A lot of these new companies like gaming, like you can play to like earn, and like many like you can hire people to play for you. You can play yourself and like have a little business going on in a video game. The future is here. Like it's crazy to say that. Like
it's now legitimately possible to be running a virtual business and actually be profitable, and it not being like some.
Yeah, we're getting to the age of you can finally sit down and, sit at a computer all day and just watch your money go up. Especially with the Zen run, I'm now like considered, I now run two times Stables LLC. My horses come out of that, and like, people look at that like they'll be like, damn, 2 times Stables LLC is gonna be it. They're gonna see that name, they'll be like, damn, that guy knows what he's fucking doing. And you know what I gotta say to them? It's all luck. It's all luck. I hope if you ever want if anyone ever wants to continue. We can have ask us anything on Instagram, and we'll answer any questions about Zedrun. But for the most part, you should read up on it yourself. It's it's good to keep up with everybody, and the way the community stays together is that there's Discords Discord that have all the official updates. Twitter also they update it
Discord and
consistently.
Twitter definitely the main place.
And it's all these. What's crazy about the community is that everybody's together. No one's trying to outrun the other person. At the end of the day, we're all trying to make money. There's probably some dickheads out there, but so far the whole community's been nice. A lot of people have been come at me and try to buy my horse, and they're lowballing me right now. Right now I'm only getting $30 for my horse, which I can't. Maybe it's $30. I gotta look into it, but I need more of my investment back because running it not worth it. But breeding it, we're seeing something. Axie Infinity also is that's a whole different thing because it has its own token behind the game.
Yeah, it's an interesting system. It's another play to earn game, but instead of racing horses, you're battling 3 virtual creatures, pretty much like Pokemon, but a card game. It's
like a Yu-Gi-Oh type thing.
Yeah, almost. Axie Infinity is pretty much one of the biggest revenue making things on Ethereum. There's a lot of people playing the game. I think they broke 2 million players per day a few months ago, and now I think it's 2.5 million players per day. So if you take the total amount of people playing per day and the amount of money they're making relative to how much it costs to run the whole game, you can almost think of it as a country and a GDP. The community of people playing the game and the amount of money they're making in real time is measurable and can be seen because everything's on the blockchain. And it's just really interesting to see that a whole virtual economy could be running and making legitimate revenue for the people involved just in real life, just right now.
Yeah, Court actually you have 23 teams in the Philippines right now, right? Is that right?
Yeah,
that's great. Yeah, he feeds families. This guy, you're paying child support at a young age. How would you say that they're doing?
It's an Axie Infinity scholarship. As I explained before, pretty much the way it works with Axie Infinity, you buy 3 of the virtual pets. They're called Axies. They have different body parts, different genetics, kind of like Zedrun, but their genetics are pretty much based around body parts. You can breed 2 of them together, and they'll end up with a combination of body parts. They have dominant genes, recessive genes, all that. With the Axies, the body parts dictates which cards you have, and the cards will just be basic Pokemon card type things. They have different status effects, etc. There's fear, there's slow, etc. And 3 creatures fight another 3 creatures, and if you win, you get this token called Smooth Love Potion, and that token is used to breed more Axies. So, for Axies to exist, people need to be playing the game, battling against each other, and using the token to make more. So if more people want to play, people need to be selling the token, and that's what gives the token value.
How many hours do you think your players play for you a week?
I don't really know. It kind of just varies.
There's a max limit? I'm trying to set up my own team in a different country. I'm shooting somewhere near the South Americas. You know what I mean? You're out in Philly. It works in many different countries. The currency rates are crazy. I looked in Mexico. I'm sorry to cut you off, but in Mexico it's $1 here is $20 there. So what's the currency rate in the Philippines?
I'm not sure. I don't really look at it.
But
I just know that it's definitely good income making the SLP money, and because so many people use in the Philippines, you can actually locally trade it in between each other, and it just works normally. Everyone just agrees. It's popular enough in the Philippines. You could just go places and send it to people, and they'll take it as currency because it's so easy for them to change it to their local currency.
and spend it normally. Pretty widespread.
Yeah, are you like any of the? You have meetings with these people, right? Like you talk to them on like a weekly basis.
Only one of them primarily. I pretty much work through like my main guy, and then he connects me to the rest of them. It was the first person who really explained it to me. I went on the Axie Infinity Discord to go and learn more about how things work, and I saw a channel that said scholarships, and it was just a bunch of people like posting up what looked like crypto resumes, and it was kind of confusing. So I write, "What's a scholarship?" and immediately just floods my Discord with a ton of messages.
That's crazy.
Like, oh, blah, 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 manager. And I pick one of the people, and I go and I ask, like, oh, what's a manager? And, like, some people are just copying and pasting the same thing over and over again. And, like,
you became the manager now.
Well, yeah. Like, well, what happened was...
Did you play the game at first before you, like, got...
Well, yeah. Like, of course, I was playing it first. I played it for a little bit. I bought 3 Axies. They weren't too good because I didn't know to, like, actually look at the parts and such before I bought it. I kind of just went, like, oh... I was looking more for price. I was like, I'm going to get 3 of them. I was focusing too much on just the price, and I don't know. Yeah, you gotta actually make sure you get a good.
What do you think you make like in a month, like from just like off a week, like of them playing? Well, 23 teams, that's a lot. So like, say like one. Let's just like cut down to one team. Like how much would one team make?
Well, they all make different amounts.
Because, it depends on. Does it depend on like the skills?
Well, yeah, because it's them playing the game against other people. So one, it's the team composition, their skill in the game, how much they're playing. You can do arena and PvP to make money, and the rewards for doing both are different. So it kind of varies. Like some people are high MMR. MMR is pretty much like your arena ranking. When you win a lot of games, you go up in rank. The higher
like your
rank
PvE
you go, yeah, exactly. It's pretty much like your rating. The higher your rating, the more rewards you get. So I have some making a lot more than others just because how they're playing, the team setup they have. And once in a while, me and the main employee I talk to, we try to like rearrange the teams to make sure that like they could be making as much money as they should be.
Yeah. Like you have to be more profitable than anything. Have you had to fire anybody yet?
No, there's no like it's.
Has anyone been so bad at the game they're not making you enough that you're just like, eh?
I just leave it running. Like, it's good to just have the money just there, making more money flowing. It's pretty, I don't know, it's just kind of passive income. All I need to do is just wait for 2 weeks to pass, and then I just split up the money in between me and them, and it just kind of just works like that.
Yeah.
I can just convert the money into US dollars for myself, or they could just use it as the same currency, or convert it themselves to their local currency and spend it wherever as well.
It's good to see that you're, like, supporting a whole family, not like that you don't even know. You know, a lot of people, like, they look for people like that, you know? Like, especially in life and, like, you know, business and all that. You need people like that. Good people, like managers, holding it down. But Axie Infinity, like, lately, it's been down like all the other cryptos, like, on the price. I bought in at, like, 141. What is, like, a good, like, what's, like, a top, like, average price? Or do you think it's going to go up even higher, like, by the end of this year?
Axie Infinity, they're doing a lot of things, like, under the hood. Like, they have the land gameplay coming out. I say land gameplay coming out. Like, they kind of sneakily release things. Like, they work on it, and they don't announce when it's going to come out just because of, like, price reasons, because people kind of react too much to any type of crypto news. So, if they just release things without telling people, it kind of just, I don't know, it's kind of just a more natural thing than people intentionally trying to abuse the system by, like, trying to plan when it's coming out. Yeah, it's kind of weird thinking about it that way, but it makes sense. People try to abuse the situation too much.
Yeah, imagine like Farmville came out during this time, like during this Web3 era. Like a lot of moms would be making a lot of money. Like my mom was like personally was like a level 100 or something. Like I know a lot of like then when I was growing up, that was like the big thing for like you know all the moms to do. This new age, crazy.
Makes sense. Like, I know there's a lot of people who, like, play Candy Crush, they play Hearthstone, they play a bunch of games, and they're spending real money in these games that they're not getting anything back. In return. Like, but now imagine you're playing games, and you're putting money in and getting money out, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Like, you could just make money.
This is like games. This is what they say about loving your job. Like, you know, do something that you love, like, who doesn't like playing video games to make some money? Like, I mean, like,
it's kind of
you sit down, you play a couple things. Like, if you imagine Call of Duty, every kill is $1, we'd be like, my KD ratio would be off the charts. Like, that'd be. And imagine the currency rate and the inflation stuff.
Think about the metaverse games. I don't know, incentivization mechanics. Yeah,
VR, crypto games. Though that
VR metaverse played
yeah. You know the terms. I'm like stumbling here.
All that shit together. That's gonna be some crazy shit. You're gonna
and it's near. People... It's near now. Like we're already going to the moon. Like fucking. what else can't we do? Like make some kind of 3D universe.
That's essentially what's happening now. Like there's gonna be portals in between Decentraland. I'm like, what are the other worlds? I'm like, there's Decentraland, there's Sandbox. Like Abegachi kind of has like a 2D world. There's a lot of projects coming out right now. I know Treeverse. Treeverse is another project. They have their own virtual world. I don't know if it's playable yet, but like I've seen like clips and like it looks pretty nice.
Yeah, I think like now with all this too, like
Webaverse. Gotta shout out Webaverse.
With all this too, there's also comes like there's a lot of new Discord communities for like all these new like play to earn games. Like you can find players like real quick. And you can also buy find people to start like your own. Like it's so easy to find a little community to start your own business, like your own crypto business, a DAO per se. You know, like the new LLC.
You could set up a crypto. Like
that threw me off. That's
yeah.
We'll cut that out. DAOs are the new LLC. No, you want an LLC nowadays when this new crypto world is like basically better than the bank?
I'm like, Wyoming is the only state right now where like a DAO is like an officially like registered thing, and like
only Wyoming.
Yeah, because like
there's no DAOs in New York City.
No, there's DAOs, but I mean like recognized by the state. Like the state is saying like this is a legal entity in my state, and like that's actually pretty crazy if you think about it. Like a crypto community is a legal entity in Wyoming. Like that, like things like that are already starting, and like people are testing out different like crypto mechanics like in the real world to see if like it can work out. I know Vitalik Buterin, inventor of Ethereum, he invented this thing called quadratic voting, which is supposed to be. Or maybe he didn't invent it, but like I don't know.
He's working on it.
The main person that I hear talking about it and like discussing it. A bunch of states are now trying it to see if like we can come to fair outcomes using it. And I don't know, it's this person kind of cool. Like they're using technology to a better society.
Yeah, like the El Salvador. El Salvador is my favorite thing to talk about. That president, I can relate to him. He looks like us. Still, we said it in the first episode. I'll say it again. He looks like us.
And he's
the modern politician. He's imagine he took the government money and made it all pay to earn. Like everybody in the state, no matter how homeless you are, like you have to play at least like 6 hours a day to make some kind of money.
Like he could set up a system. Like you could definitely set up a system for that. But like
if you ever see
what he's doing right now,
if you ever see this, Mr. President, or what do they call him, like Mr. Presidente, hit us up. Like
I know he's working with Blockstream to like make Bitcoin bonds. Essentially, he's going to issue $1 billion in bonds through them, and $500 million is going to be put towards buying Bitcoin, and then another $500 million is going to be spent towards like building mining facilities. And essentially, the return from like the mining into Bitcoin essentially is what you're getting paid from buying the bonds. So you're just spending like your regular fiat money on the bonds, purchasing essentially a share of a government Bitcoin business. And like, instead of you getting paid like through like whatever stock exchange you're using, it's still crypto. They're just sending you the money to your wallet for buying this crypto bond.
Yeah, but what's cool what he's doing is that he's using a lot of people, like mining Bitcoin and mining Ethereum. That's bad. It causes a lot of power. It uses a lot of power. And it's bad for the environment, but he's using volcanoes.
Yeah,
that's like one of the first. Like a lot of people have been doing solar power, regular mining. But this guy's thinking above and beyond, using the earth as his own resource.
Volcanoes, pretty crazy. They're setting up Bitcoin City just around a dormant volcano that they're setting up miners for. They're generating electricity, using electricity to mine Bitcoin, and then using that Bitcoin to just support the city. As I said before, the city has no taxes except for a sales tax. I think it's a pretty high sales tax, actually. But there's no other tax that exists, so there's no estate tax, no capital gains. Like, if you're earning money on crypto, you don't need to pay taxes on your earnings. Just everything's just a flat, I think, 20% sales tax.
Yeah, man.
It gets accounted for by the fact that there's no other taxes.
Yeah, I mean, there has to be some kind of tax for like at least one.
Yeah.
Like, nothing in this world's free. Everyone knows that.
One tax? Imagine paying one tax ever. Pick one tax and that's the only one you pay.
If you have what would you choose? If I had to choose my tax, I'd choose, like, insurance.
I'd pick, like, the water bill or some shit.
The water bill?
I'm like, some shit cheap. I don't know.
Nah, maybe electricity.
Yeah. Electricity up here, I think it's like 12 cents per kilowatt hour. It's like, I'm sorry. I literally called them, like, straight up. Like, when you can make money by having solar panels on your house and running a Bitcoin miner, you're doing the math to see how much money you're making a month by just saying, hey, mom, put some solar panels on the house. I'm going to connect some shit in the basement.
Like, imagine, like, these van lifers, bro, I'm telling you, like, they have so much solar power on their, like, on these, like, Sprinter vans. Like, I feel like if they're just mobile banks. You know, like, $50, like, a month or something, like, that's just, and you have a couple in the van, like, that's a mobile bank. You just put a bed in there and you're living. You just gotta open the door and let the heat out, you know? Well, how long have we been running? We've been running for 30 minutes. What do you want? You want to call it? Yeah. Sure. Yeah, man. This week, you know, great, Zed Run, Axie Infinity, the future of gaming itself. I think a lot of people need to start getting on this, and, like, even before this episode, I hope, like, a lot of you are already, like, looking into stuff like this. If you're not, like, check it out, zedrun.com, Axie Infinity.
Yeah, I think it's just
Axie Infinity. Check them out. Read up about them. Check the ecosystems. Talk to the community. The players are nice. Other than that, you know,
good making money opportunities.
We're making money. Maybe by the next episode, crypto will be up a lot more. You know, it's your favorite coin chasers, according to Dave. Other than that, hope to see you next week. We're out.